guys, how are you? I'm very pleased today to invite you to one of the most fabulous galleries. This is Tate Modern just behind me, and now we're going to have a look at 3 pictures, amazing pieces of art that your eye will immediately be arrested to. I hope you will enjoy this. But before this, Polly, can you please make some introductory part, some exercise for them just to start? Okay, and press the play button when you're ready, okay? Great, and now we're ready to start. I want you to come up on the 2nd floor and to look at one of the most famous and the greatest artist, inventor and creator. You will definitely recognize his paintings, and you will definitely recognize his hand and his brush. So, let's go. And now please, look at these 3 pictures and tell me, what artist do you associate them with? Absolutely right, Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali was a prominent Spanish surrealist painter, a skilled draftsman, best known for his striking and bizarre images in the surrealist work. Dali's expansive artistic repertoire included film, sculpture, and photography, in collaboration with a range of artists in a variety of media. And now some odd facts about the art painter. Within the art community, Dali was renowned for his love of making money. Because of this, he was sometimes called $, which is both an anagram of Salvador Dali and a reference to his greed. Dali would do pretty much anything to make a buck. He designed the famous Chupa Chups lollipop logo and the 1969 logo for the Eurovision Song Contest. He also appeared in ads for Landvin chocolates, brandy, and even Alka-Seltzer.
Je suis fou du chocolat Landvin.
Aside from being an artist, writer, scientist, and whatever else he decided to be when he woke up in the morning, Dali was a showman. Sometimes his stunts could be even more striking than his art. For instance, Dali once delivered a lecture wearing a full deep-sea diving suit, which he refused to take off, almost suffocating as a result. In 1955, he arrived at a speech in a Rolls-Royce full of cauliflowers because he was fascinated by their shape. Well, enough weird information for today, and we move on to the first picture, that is Metamorphosis of Narcissus, executed in 1937. According to Greek mythology, Narcissus fell in love with his own reflection in a pool. Unable to embrace the watery image, he pinned away, and the gods immortalized him as a flower. Dali shows this metamorphosis by doubling a crouching figure by the lake with a hand clutching an egg from which the narcissus flower sprouts. When this painting was first exhibited, it was accompanied by a long poem by Dali. Together, the words and image suggest a range of emotions triggered by the theme of metamorphosis, including anxiety, disgust, and desire. This is a painting of all-consuming paranoia. Shapes seem to disappear into the edges of your peripheral vision the longer you gaze at it, whilst other shadowy figures emerge. The painting has many of Dali's favorite tropes: dreamscape replete with melting objects and crawling ants often seen as reflecting death. The presence of the eggs is also typical. If you have a closer look at it, you can see that paint seems to be applied very thinly. It is not a confused mass of daubs and streaks of color, but a precise eloquence of line. All figures are defined quite sharply. The first thing that attracts your attention is the shape of a man and the egg. They both are drawn with utmost care and precision. The longer you look at it, the more details you can percept. For example, the people dancing in the background, and Narcissus himself standing like a monument in the background as well. Unbelievably varied range of colors was achieved by combining several paints and also adding some unusual elements to it.
Marvelous, isn't it? I really adore this picture. But I believe that there is another one that is also worth looking at and worth keeping it here. So let's move on and have a look at his second masterpiece that is kept here in the Tate Modern. I believe you will probably be a little bit confused and maybe threatened by it, but still, it is a piece of art. So let's go!
And this is Eternal Cannibalism, 1936. Painted just after the outbreak of the Spanish Civil War, this work shows a couple locked in a cannibalistic embrace. They are pictured on a tabletop which merges into the earthy tones of a Spanish landscape in the background. The conflict between countrymen is symbolized by the apple, balanced on the head of the male figure, which refers to the legend of William Tell, in which a father is forced to shoot at his son. Here we as well can observe the manual dexterity of the painter, since he understood the science of surreal picture making. Also, I would like to pay your attention to the iridescent color, and despite the subject matter of the picture, it is still eye-attracting, eye-catching. It is bright and vibrant. The colors are vivid. As for the composition, it gains its unity from the concentration in the center of the picture, the people that are caught between one movement and the next.
And finally, I will show you something really dramatic, and something that I personally like most of the pictures that are presented here. So this is the picture quite gloomy, but at the same time it is adorable. So have a look at his final piece of art. One of my favorite is this one. This is Salvador Dali lake. So as you can see, it's a piece of history. Somewhat the threat that he was about to predict or start of. I would like to tell you more about this picture, so look closer.
Mountain Lake, 1938. Mountain Lake demonstrates Dali's use of the multiple image. The lake can simultaneously be seen as a fish. By such doubling, he sought to challenge rationality. The painting combines personal and public references. His parents visited this lake after the death of their first child, also called Salvador. Dali seemed to have been haunted by the death of his namesake brother, whom he never knew. The disconnected telephone brings the image into the present by alluding to negotiations between Neville Chamberlain, the British Prime Minister, and Hitler over the German annexation of the Sudetenland in September 1938. In this marine landscape, the composition is anchored in a telephone, revealing a well-worked-out plot. The delicacy of tones is lost in reproductions, but in the original painting we can observe the prismatic colors. Dali uses an interplay between dark and light areas to emphasize lumosity of the dusk. Looking at Dali's paintings, you might suspect that they were the result of heavy psychotropic drug use. Yet Dali famously stated, "I don't do drugs, I am drugs." So where did he get his inspiration if not from drugs? Well, Dali had some tricks for making himself more creative. One involved a tin plate and spoon. Dali would sit in a chair holding the spoon above the plate and doze off. As he fell asleep, the spoon would drop onto the plate, making the noise loud enough to wake the artist in time to jot down the surreal image he saw in his dreams. Dali's most famous technique was called paranoia critical method. This involved trying to create a self-induced paranoid state, allowing him to draw irrational relationships between unconnected objects and to depict the landscape of his own subconscious mind.
So, this is it. This is a little excursion into Tate Museum and its masterpieces. I hope you really enjoyed it and liked it. And I hope that one day you will be able to visit this very place and to enjoy it with your own eyes, because this is absolutely marvelous and gorgeous. Bye!